guys, it is currently 4:07. Last night we ended up getting an 1 2/10 to an 1 4/10, so we got a pretty decent rain there. And this morning I had to do some stuff in Valpo, and then we ended up pulling some weeds out of the big irrigator field where we can't spray in a portion of that field. So we ended up weeding some of that field. We still have a little bit more left to do, but since it's dried off a little bit, we're going to go ahead and wide drop that irrigator field. They're not talking rain the next couple of days. Actually, tomorrow and Sunday are supposed to get back up into the mid and upper 90s again. Eventually, this will get pressure washed again, but for now, here it sits. I still need to get the planting data off. Eventually, we're going to pull this out of the way and put that back where the vertical till sits, where the planter always goes. We pretty much have to reorganize this whole shed to figure out where this bad boy is going to go. So we'll figure it all out later. So over to the right there, we've got our corn plot, and from where I'm at, about 8 rows over from there, all the way over to where the corn starts over there, we have our soybean plot. So we got 25 A04s, 27 A17s, 28 A42s, I believe 31 A95s, I want to say, then 32 A71s, and I believe 34 A79s, I think that's the variety. We don't plant anything over a 3.3, so I'm not too familiar with that 3.4. But I believe that's what we have out here without double checking on my phone, because I have the varieties for the soybean plot and the varieties for the corn plot all on my phone. Just got off the phone with Dad. We're cutting the fertilizer that we got down at Logansport with water, and the micro mix that we have is cut with water. There wasn't enough water in the van trailer, so Dad's waiting on the van trailer to fill up with a little bit more water so we can finish filling and diluting that other tank. One of our seed customers is there visiting, so when I get done with this fill up, I'm going to take Bela and we're going to go back to the farm, and we're going to recirculate that tank because we need to get that tank recirculated before we put it all in the applicator, and we'll come back over here with the van trailer and finish up this field done. Well, back at it again this morning. With this fill up, I should be able to do from where I'm at all the way over to over there by the house, and I should be able to. If not, it'll come out very close, and then all I have left then is that back 49 acres back there. For those of you wondering if we're going to leave a check strip, Dad and I talked about that this morning, because I did not leave a check strip over on that dry land. I kind of wish I would have just left a round, if not just one pass over there just to see. But on the irrigated field, I'm definitely going to leave a check strip for sure. I'll end up putting that check back there on that 49 acre field, and that way we'll see if this actually pays what we're doing, because that's the only way we're really going to be able to tell if this is actually going to be profitable for us, which I have a lot of faith that this is, and I'm pretty excited that we're actually side dressing beans. Well, that's not supposed to do that. Holy cow, pivot broke right through this barricade. Good thing we did not try and start this up the other day. Saved by the tree up there. Wow. Well, that could have been way worse than what it actually is. Thankfully, that tree was there and it stopped the irrigator from going into the ditch. What we're going to do is we're going to end up getting the loader tractor, bringing the 4430 over, and essentially getting that pivot stop out of there and getting that irrigator pulled back up onto the filter strip and assess how bad the damage is. Really, we don't think it's that bad at all. It did bend that last span a little bit. To what degree, we can't really tell at this point. And how severe the damage is, again, we don't know until we can assess it further this afternoon when we get the irrigator pulled up out of the ditch a little bit, because it actually is sitting on the bank of the ditch there. We're gonna have to get a new pivot stop, obviously. We've never had anything like this happen before. Theoretically should do everything what I have left to do in this field. So what I'm going to do is I'm working my way over now from this center ditch here over to where I left off there in the middle of the field. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave 2 rounds out here in this back 49 acres for a check strip. And there is 5 acres over there that the irrigator does not hit on the west side of the ditch over there up by that house. And there's about, I would say, about 100 gallon left in the tender that I could put in the applicator then to finish, to clean out that applicator and run everything out. Depending on how much I have left when I get close to that, to where I left off, I'll figure if I leave 1 or 2 rounds for a check strip then, to figure if I can do a second pass across some of this stuff to see what a second shot, what we're running out here, does to these beans. And then the rest I'll run off in that non-irrigated strip. So I changed it up a little bit. We left 2 rounds out here for a check with nothing on it. And I did a 1.5 rounds with a second shot back here. Same rate, didn't change nothing. So that'll be really interesting to see what that does. And I'm also going to do a second shot in what we call the middle 60, so I'll do probably just a round out there. And then I'll go up to the tender, pump the remaining 150 gallon left in the tender off into the applicator, and then run the rest out over there in that dry land. So Dad and Amanda are up at the pivot stop, and I'm going to be down here at the pivot panel, and I'm going to hold the override button and see if we can get this thing to walk out of there. Dad thinks we might not even have to pull it out, it might just walk out, which I think so too. So that's good. He might not even need to bring the loader down here to get the pivot out. We'll have to get the loader down here to pull the stop out. So unfortunately for you guys aren't going to see much action out of this, except for me holding the override button and just pushing some buttons here on the panel. Yep. It's coming out. Really? So it's not even bent no more. Awesome. Well, we got it out. Amanda was in the green truck and Dad had the chain hooked up to it, and she just put a little pressure on it to help bring it up out of there, and it crawled right out of there. And Dad said that bent spot that we thought was going to be bent popped right back into place, and it looks good as new. Other than maybe a couple of those pieces of angle right there and that rod up on that last span are a little bit bent, I guess. But Dad said it looks good as new. They're coming up right now to come and pick me up so I can go take a look at it also. But I guess all we're gonna have to do now is rip that old stop out, put a new stop in, and we're good to go. Yeah, look at that. Walked right up out of there. Just got that tree branch up there. I mean, it's straight. I would say so. Yeah, we got that piece that's bent, I guess, but yeah, wow. I mean, there's an ever so slight bend in it, but you can't even hardly tell. I mean, yeah, grab that branch down and I'd say we're good to go. Except for fixing the stop. That's good. Let's see if I can climb up here. Okay. Yeah, you might want to get over there because this thing's gonna.
That's why when he starts carrying on about insurance, I go,
actually, he better move because it's gonna go this way.
Out of the way.
Hey, you better move.
He's gonna drop it this way, dude.
Okay, now he's even got the tree branch on.
Wow, look at that.
Well, I don't know. I'd say it's good.
It's like rocking back and forth.
Well, no, it's supposed to.
Rodney and was telling him, and he told his dad, and his dad goes, well, what the hell good is
I don't know. I'd say it's good. Unless you want to be in the... Well, I don't know.
And I told Amanda, you know...
There we go. No, you're fine. I had it on wide angle zoom.
Three oak trees down here at the end of the 49 acres.
Wow, that was like almost in the bottom of the ditch. That's crazy. Wow. Yep, rip this out, put a new stop in. We're good to go. So I ran up here and I was able to make it, so I'm like, well, I guess there's a little bit more left in there. I go maybe 20, 30 feet off the ends, sucked empty. Really. So now I gotta drive all the way up to this end. I guess I get to look at how good these beans look. Holy cow, these beans look pretty good. Crazy tall. The nodes are stacked on top of each other, so hopefully if all those make pods, we could have some crazy good yields, I think, out here. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to gauge bean yields compared to corn yields. Corn's a heck of a lot easier to estimate yield compared to beans, but we've never really had good luck trying to estimate bean yields, so I guess until this fall, we'll see. Well, that's it for Sidedress 2020. Till next year. Can't wait.